We do want you to look up in the month of November because there's so much to see. So Patrick, can you tell us what's in the sky for the month of November?
Okay, yes. And the first thing you must do this weekend is to set your clocks back. The clocks are going back 1 hour at 2 a.m. on Sunday.
So I'm going to interrupt just to say that, we were looking for graphics, and these are all these lovely ones, fallback. But as you know, we have this wonderful staff that helps us put the show together. So we asked them, could you put together our own original fallback? And this is what they came up with. So that's fall back. So you can think about that Sunday morning when you get up.
So I second that. The same message. Yeah. Okay. So if you're being that we're going to go back 1 hour, that means that you can go out earlier because it gets dark earlier to observe the sky. So in the last few days, we've been watching with interest the emergence of Venus. You can see it's marked there. I took this picture on the 29th, and there's a nice one-day-old moon just above Venus. And then just a little bit higher up is the planet Jupiter. Those three planets will be visible soon after sunset. We have a little close-up picture of the two. It makes for a nice photogenic view. So if you happen to go out, take a picture of it. When it gets darker, you might be able to see Saturn. So there's a lineup on the 5th, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and then the waxing gibbous moon a little bit higher up. But 18 days later, Venus and Jupiter will be close together in the sky, just separated by 3 moon diameters. And this is definitely something that you want to go out in the evening to look at and take your cameras to photograph. I certainly will be out there watching for this. And take a look at the next day too, because you can see the relative motion of Venus to Jupiter. And the two are not actually in the same, they are, Jupiter's half a billion miles away, and Venus is 136 million miles away. So it's just a line of sight that you're seeing here.
The Great Conjunction is the end of the world! Oh, the beginning?
And they just said it. That operative word is conjunction, when two planets are close together in the sky. So if you want to do some stargazing here, we mentioned earlier, in fact, David did, the constellation Pegasus. And we'll put the lines up here because you can see them here. The square of Pegasus is made out of 4 stars. This is the overhead position, so you have to look straight up in the middle of the month. And it's connected to a constellation called Andromeda. And this little offshoot here is M31, or the Andromeda Galaxy, which you can see in a dark sky with your eyes. It's the farthest spiral galaxy you can actually see with your eyes. And in a pair of binoculars, it looks like an elongated, fuzzy smudge. Now, in the beginning, actually, the 2 stars in the front of Pegasus, this one and this one, you can use as pointers, and you can find this lonely first magnitude star called Fomalhaut in the southern fissures in the south there. Over to the east, the red star Aldebaran is above the horizon, and the constellation of Orion is just emerging. Just a few days ago, I took this picture, and you can clearly see Orion rising there. There's M42, as Pat was saying, which is the Orion Nebula. And so go out and look for that in the late evening. And how are our moon phases doing this month? Well, they've all turned into pumpkins. So one thing you might be interested in is on the 2nd, we have a star party here at Griffith Observatory where local astronomy clubs come up, set their telescopes on the lawn, and you can look through telescopes at Jupiter or even Venus or any other celestial object they will be showing that night. So it's worth a treat. So if you're coming out here, you might want to do that. The full moon is on the 12th. And if you're up early in the morning on Thanksgiving morning, which is on the 28th, you're going to see the Big Dipper, which is high overhead, and you can use the 2 stars to point in the front of the Big Dipper to point to the North Star. And you can use the handle and kind of form an arc towards this orange star called Arcturus, and then you can speed down to Spica, which is in the constellation of Virgo. Constellation of Leo is a backwards question mark, and a triangle. The bright star is called Regulus. So if you're up early that morning, do take a look in the morning sky. Now, something that is a rare event that's coming up is Mercury. Mercury will be passing directly in front of the Sun on November 11th, Veterans Day. And when it does this, we call it a transit. And at sunrise, which is 6:22 from Los Angeles, the transit will already be in progress. So Mercury will already be kind of somewhere over here. And at 7 a.m., it's going to be here. 8 a.m., it's going to be here. And then it'll take 4 hours to reach the west limb of the Sun at 10:04, and then the transit ends. Now, the last time we had a transit here in Los Angeles of Mercury, it was clouded out, May 9th, 2016. But we did get, eventually, when the marine lobe kind of started thinning out, a glimpse of the Sun. When I say, look, you should... I actually want to emphasize that anything involving an observation of the Sun, we have to give you a note of caution here. And so this next slide is just to remind everyone, never ever under any circumstances look directly or stare directly at the Sun for an astronomical event, because it could mean that will be the last astronomical event you'll ever see. Mercury is going to be about 0.5% of the total diameter of the Sun. It's going to be a tiny speck. It's going to be very difficult to see. So we'll have, in order to see it properly, you need properly filtered telescopes, and to actually get a decent image of Mercury crossing the face of the Sun. In fact, the best way to see this, and I'm going to recommend our website here, because we're going to run a broadcast from our telescope on the roof with, of course, it's going to be all properly filtered light from the Sun, and we're going to broadcast on YouTube and live stream the transit starting at 6:15. So if you want to tune in for that in that morning, tune in just before 6:15, and you can look at it from our website here at YouTube or a live stream.
Let me just say that we did do this before, and so the video we're about to show will show you what we got before, but bear in mind those cloudy clouds we had. So you can see the little dot. There's not much to show you there. We didn't have, it was cloudy. So I'm going to run through that again just so you can see it. But you can see Mercury, which is a thing. And it's Mercury.
So there are 2 more transits, but they occur on the other side of the world, not visible in North America. But the next one, you have to wait to May 7th, 2049. So catch this one on our live web broadcast if you want to see it.